My name is Prashanth, and I'll be the co-host and the speaker for today. And Fanindra is the host for the today's event. So today's session is mainly on Ask Me Anything session. So shoot out all your questions today on Pardot. So if you have any questions or if you want any suggestions on how to implement things and all, you have the flexibility to shoot out. It's not just that questions as well. So if at all you have anything else that you want, probably how to start learning Pardot, or probably where to go, where to start Pardot, and other typical questions as well, like probably if you have any other career questions that you would like to ask me, feel free to ask me as well. And I'll just dedicate probably 10, 15 to 20 minutes for that, and post that we will share. I personally created few slides about tips and tricks, my best 12 tips and tricks. Post that I'll share. I will be having a quiz as well, so two winners out of the quiz will receive a certification voucher, and one winner from Twitter contest will win a certification voucher. So for that, you basically have to make sure that you tag me and Fanindra on Twitter. You need to make sure that you follow us as well, so that we can DM you. If you do not follow us, then we will not be able to DM you as well. Okay. So Twitter winner will be directly reached out, so you do not need to ping us about hey, did we win or something like that. So if you are a Twitter winner, so we will definitely reach out to you directly. You should be seeing a message in your inbox post the event, probably 1 hour post the event. Okay, so make sure you see that. Check your Twitter inboxes, so that we can DM you over there. Okay. So Twitter winner is a random. So based on engagements, based on active community member joining our events and all. So we randomly pick a Twitter winner and then just do it out. So make sure you tag me and Funny, and hashtag Trailblazer community as well, and then make sure you follow us so that we can DM you as well on that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. So let's start. So you can shoot your questions on the chat. So we have the chat open. So post your questions. Might not be only about Pardot. So probably if you have questions on Sales Cloud, Service Cloud as well, I'm happy to answer. But Pardot questions first. So let's see if we are gonna get any Pardot questions. Just trying to see uh, the chats. Okay, so I got a question in my DM. Okay, someone's asking, like, how to start Pardot. So basically, to start Pardot, I would suggest start from Trailhead. Okay, because it's going to give you the theoretical knowledge basically. So that's your first point of starting Pardot. So Trailhead, it has got good concepts both on classic version of Pardot as well as the lightning version of Pardot. And it's better you start with Trailhead so that you can understand the concepts better, and then move to help articles, because help articles are enormous. And there are no examples inside help articles, so hence I am suggesting you to start with Trailhead first. And also you basically need to understand the terminology inside Pardot. It's just not that okay, Pardot, so where is a lead and a contact? No, we do not use lead and contact terminology inside Pardot. So basically you definitely need to understand the terminology that we use, like prospect, campaigns. So why campaigns? Why do we use the campaigns? What is the effectiveness of a campaign? How do you determine the effectiveness of a campaign, right? So what are the different roles inside Pardot, right? So different editions of Pardot. So that's something you will have to first find out. So knowing these things will definitely help you to upskill yourself on Pardot. It's just not that you have a client and you implement it. It's rather than just being, we recently had an MC Square session. If few people have attended that, you know any of you attended that, you must have heard from Gilda. So the marketing director of sales from Salesforce. So you should typically not be a developer. You should become and wear multiple hats and become a consultant rather than just being a developer. So that's first point that she you know uh, pressed, I would say. Okay, she was pressing for this point. So just implementing something doesn't make you a Pardot developer also. You need to understand the concepts from the base. So what is the campaigns utilized for inside Pardot? So how do you measure the effectiveness of the campaign? How do you manage the prospect database, right? So for all these things, I would suggest first start with Trailhead, and then you will understand what the concepts are before you get into the help articles. Help articles are really, really large, and there is so much of information in that, and it would be really confusing if you don't understand the terminology well. Okay. um so there is one more question. So people are DMing me. So guys, okay, let me first ask, what happens if we don't select campaign while copying the tracking code of the tracker domain for setting up of the first party tracking? See, the first party tracking, that code that you're trying to copy, right? So CID will be present inside that. So if you don't select the campaign, then the tracking code that you're going to copy is not effective. Okay. So after you select the campaign on the top and copy the code and put it in the website, that's where the prospects basically will be tracked under that specific campaign. Otherwise, they do not get tracked because CID is very much important. So I mean PCID. There is some terminology called PCID or CID. So that is important. For that ID to get, you definitely have to select the campaign on the first party tracker, and then copy the code for that. So that's important. Uh, yeah. So I had one more. I think I have answered your question, Nandini. Just let me know if that doesn't help or you have any other follow up question on that. Okay, so I had one more question. So, do we need to set up Lightning email builder? Okay, so there are mixed reactions in the community, I would say. Going with Lightning email builder and uh, Pardot classic email builder. So, I would say there are both advantage and disadvantage of that. My main concern of Lightning email builder is the reporting features. We do not have good reporting features like we have in the classic email templates that we get from classic email templates. You will not be able to get deep inside and see who clicked, who did not click, who opened, who did not open, all this kind of stuff currently on Lightning email builder. It might change in near future, but yeah, but those data is still not present. It just gives you the numbers. And apart from that, I don't see any other reason not to use the Lightning email builder, because it's a wonderful feature. It's a drag and drop email builder. You do not need to write code for that, but if you still want to write code for that, you have the flexibility to write code as well, because it does allow HTML code inside Lightning email builder. So there is nothing wrong even if you use that. And the main advantage of using Lightning email builder, apart from having this uh, easy to access components, apart from that is the CDN, content delivery network, that is available only in Salesforce CMS. So if you don't know what Salesforce CMS is content management system inside Salesforce. You have the flexibility to host the images, the files inside Salesforce, and CDN allows consistency across the assets. Once, probably, for example, if you are trying to build an email template and you use CMS images, okay, images hosted on CMS, and then you import those images into the email template, send out an email to probably 1 lakh prospects. Okay, assuming you send out an email to 1 lakh prospects, then probably 15-20,000 people opening an email at once, or more than that opening an email at once. I'm just giving you a ballparking figure. So if those many people are trying to open at once, CDN helps to stabilize the email content and deliver the images in a good way, rather than broken images and all that, because every time an image loads, it sends back the information to Pardot, okay, for tracking purposes. And it has to hit the server to get the image as well, because image might you might change the image 2 weeks down the line in the same URL, in the same location, and that image, even when an email loads, right, that image, the changed image automatically reflects, right? So for that reason, though that feature is already there inside classic Pardot as well, but CDN gives you a better deliverability of the images and files across multiple people accessing it. So I think, Rebecca, that's a good question. How crucial is it to switch to first-party cookies or tracking? What is the consequence if we don't do so anytime soon? Um, Actually, starting 2022, it was mandatory initially that first party tracking has to be enabled inside Pardot, given Google is shutting down the third party tracking and all. But I think 2 years has been, Google has shifted that for 2 more years. So not anytime soon, I would say. That you need to immediately switch to for I don't say that you need to immediately switch it, but probably till end of 2024, or yeah, to the beginning of 2024, probably you have the flexibility to use. But if you have clients requesting for first party tracking, I would always suggest you to test it out and implement it. But having first party tracking is, you're getting your client future proof ready. Okay, so just in case you have clients requesting for that, I would strongly suggest, yeah, go with that. But if you don't have clients suggesting for that, then probably uh, you don't need to go with that. Thank you. So, Beth, what are the considerations to keep in mind before implementing B2B marketing analytics in Pardot? Also, can we view the dashboard created in B2B marketing analytics in Salesforce Sales Cloud? Okay, first question. Considerations to keep in mind before implementing B2B MA in Pardot is, the main consideration is you need to have license. So the first thing. So the second thing is, it depends on the edition that you're having. It might be, uh, there are four types of editions in Pardot currently. Growth, Pardot Plus, Advanced, and I think Premium, I guess. So, but B2B marketing analytics is available with the Pardot license from Advanced, but in Plus edition, customer has to buy B2B MA. So that is the first thing that they need to keep in their mind while implementing B2B marketing analytics. And just having simply B2B MA and going to Einstein, and logging into Einstein and just trying to utilize template is not going to give any good results. um, the other thing that needs to be kept in mind is campaign influence. Campaign influence plays a very, very prominent role. As long as if B2B MA needs to be utilized very well and effectively, then I would always suggest people to implement campaign influence as well. Campaign influence model gives you better results on top of that. And uh, yeah, so you have the flexibility to create your own data sets and data flows as well using B2B MA. Yeah, so that also gives you better data. But most of the times I see clients not using any customizations on top of that. But the standard template gives you more features. I would say more the required dashboards as well. Um, can we view the dashboards created in B2B marketing analytics in Salesforce Sales Cloud? Actually, you can host them using Tableau dashboard component, but not everybody will be able to view those dashboards. Only people having access to Pardot, and people having access to B2B marketing analytics using um, permission sets like analytics view only or B2B marketing analytics. There are two different permission sets: B2B marketing analytics and analytics view only. So B2B marketing analytics permission set is basically for the people who create reports, who creates dashboards and all that, who wants to modify the data inside a dashboard, create their own data sets, data flows and all. Analytics view only is for people who just wants to view the dashboard. So either of this permission set needs to be available, and those dashboards can be hosted on lightning record pages or probably on the home page as well of Sales Cloud app, but using Tableau dashboard component, but with the required permission sets. So will Pardot URL field gets impacted due to sunset of classic Pardot version? If yes, how do we go about it? No. So Pardot classic version is getting expired, but it's a classic version of the app, not the classic version. Okay. So two things. There are two different. These two are two different things, Nandini. So basically, um, when you say Pardot Classic app, right? So in previously in Salesforce, when you're trying to set up Pardot, we used to have only Pardot app, not the Pardot Lightning app. So that specific tab inside Salesforce is expiring. You will still be able to access Pardot using pi.pardot.com, the classic version. You will still be able to access that. You will still be able to continue working on that as well if you not feel like moving to Lightning or not feel like using Lightning. The URL field inside Pardot, the Pardot URL field, the URL inside Pardot will still keep working because you have still access to pi.pardot.com. So uh, that is not going to expire anytime soon. That's the one thing that I could tell. So yeah, so the other way workaround is creating a formula text field and copy the base URL of the prospect, and then keep iterating the dynamic value inside that URL, the basically the prospect ID inside the URL. You will be able to get that. So yeah, that's a good suggestion, Rebecca. Good one. um yeah, so any more question, any questions? Okay, so I have one more question meanwhile. So someone was asking me, like, is it really important to move from go.pardot.com? Okay, so yeah, I understood. So moving from default domain is strictly mandatory. So if your previous customers are still on go.pardot.com, uh, they might face issues rendering forms. They might face issues rendering content inside email. I would always suggest any of my customer from the beginning. I've been suggesting them to create their own tracker domains. So if you have any implementations ongoing right now, though default domain security has been forced as well, but still I see many of the customers, I still get people messages on Twitter or probably LinkedIn asking, hey, my form is not rendering. My first point would be, hey, did you go and check your default domain security update? So if so, then you will have to replace that. So it's just that you need to replace the go.pardot.com with your tracker domain that you're going to set it up. Setting up tracker domain is very, very simple. I would always encourage people to reach out to their networking team and follow the help article. The steps are clearly defined in the help article. You need to create a tracker domain, put the code over there, then that's it. Validate it within 24 hours, right? So you can just replace that. How can we go about creating multi-touch attribution dashboard in Pardot using B2B MA? So multi-touch attribution dashboard. So Pardot has got a template for that as well. But before having multi-touch attribution, you need to enable campaign influence inside Salesforce. You need to set up campaign influence, and then that's how you will be able to utilize multi-touch attribution. So multi-touch attribution is basically like how going through, and probably how many campaigns is he interacting with is something you will be able to get it. Can I get a detailed explanation, Nandini? Like, do you recommend any apps based on your experience to create an omni-channel experience? So what do you mean by omni-channel experience for prospect? And that is something I need to understand better um, on that. So probably managing consent. Okay, so For managing consent, right? So if you're thinking about having GDPR policies and you need to maintain the GDPR policies and all, so Pardot has already got a tracking consent available. So okay, like managing the consent and triggering campaigns based on that. Mm, So two things. So if you're speaking about tracking consent, then you have a tracking consent feature inside Pardot. You will have to enable that, and when you put that on when you host the form on the website, as long as they do not accept the cookies, Pardot form will not be displayed. That's one thing, if I'm understanding it correct. The second thing that I understand from your point is the main thing is preference center. So if you are already maintaining a preference center, then it's better that you put all your lists that a particular prospect is part of, name the list on campaign names. That way it would be better for them to understand, or probably you can just give a list description as well and say, hey, anybody in this particular list will be receiving emails related to marketing campaign, like mobile smartphone campaign, carrier campaign, network campaign, something like that. So make sure every list has got a description, so that the description is exposed to external prospects. So when they are going to the preference center and trying to um, what do you say, like, what campaigns am I part of, or what list I'm a part of, they try to get that information directly from the list name and from the description. Okay, so that would be you know the thing. So correct me if I am understanding it in any wrong way. You can just pose that in a different way if I didn't get it right for your question, Nandini. So mhm, mhm. Okay. So there are other things as well that I think of. So primarily, I recently got a question from one of fellow community member. So he was asking, Pardot is not user friendly. So uh, it's not about the user friendly. He stated the reason, one of the reason why it was not user friendly is not able to copy or move lookup fields inside Salesforce to Pardot, which is ideally not being supported by Pardot. Okay, it's an interesting thing that I got to hear that Pardot is not user friendly. But yeah, I think based on his experience that he's seeing that formula fields, I mean, sorry, lookup fields not able to get that information into Pardot and all. But yeah, so unfortunately, lookup fields are not present inside Pardot. So Pardot doesn't support mapping. Okay. So Pardot does not have a data type of lookup. So unfortunately, if you have a lookup field inside Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or Salesforce CRM, that information will not be. But based on the lookup field, if you would like to capture any information, the ideal way would formula field, get that information, store that in the formula field, from Pardot by creating a custom field in Pardot. That's the only other way around over here. Um, okay, it's great. Yeah, unfortunately, there is no other way, Nandini. So we don't have any other app exchange packages as well. Uh, so one app exchange package that I really liked on Pardot was visitor card scanning. So if someone is giving you a Vista card and you would like to scan and get the information out of it, I've seen people building apps on that. So probably that is one good app to try any app exchange package on Pardot. Yeah. So we have 30 audiences, attendees, right? So probably one me out of them. So how many have you started implementing Lightning Email Builder? So did you face any issues while using Lightning Email Builder? Uh, Something like that. you did you try checking idea exchange links? Did you see any ideas being posted on idea exchange link? You can just put that in the comment section. um, uh, Apart from that, while I still get the questions, um, idea exchange plays a very very prominent role in the Salesforce ecosystem. uh, all the Pardot people over there out there who are working on Pardot, uh, we were deprived of getting idea prioritized last time, and there was no idea that has been prioritized for Pardot, unfortunately, last time, for I guess for spring or summer 2023. So guys, just go to Idea Exchange, uh, upvote the ideas that you feel it's this is something very much required, because that would help to improve features inside Pardot or add additional features inside Pardot. That would be really really great. So yeah, thanks Gaurav for that link. So you know you would also get to know, like, probably people out there trying to customize things on Pardot using APIs and all. So one thing that I recently noticed, I don't exhaustively work on Pardot APIs. So that's not my area. I don't work much on that because most of my customers doesn't require any API calls out there. But recently I was going through the documentation to upskill myself, and I saw a couple of things over there, that when you query Pardot prospects using API, you only get 200 records. It's a default limitation that you cannot get more than 200 records in a single query. You will have to utilize basically filters, and do like order by, or whatever the filter conditions that you would like to add, and then get the prospects. So that's something I recently got to know. And it's not that simple as well. It's a bit complicated way to get all your prospects in from the database. The other part is, I did find a way in the API documentation on how to get the entire list of prospects without any limit of 200. That is when you add so there's something called field name equal to mobile or something. So there's some terminology, not the field name, but there's some terminology over there that it says equal to inverted commas mobile. You will get all the details, but you will not get all the fields. You will only get the prospect ID and prospect email. So that's kind of depressing for me as well. So there is kind of limitations of using Pardot API. So just keep in mind, if you're trying to utilize Pardot APIs, I would always suggest you go through the documentation and inform your customers that these are the limitations before committing anything on the APIs part. It's an interesting thing that I've noticed. So something else I did notice, yeah. So probably if you're trying to do something using a form, which I might cover in my next tips and tricks as well. You have the ability to create a cookie for yourself, instead of Pardot form creating a cookie through API. Creating a cookie, you will be able to do it through an API as well. So we do have a Pardot API guide for creating Pardot cookie as well. So I would always suggest, please go through that as well. And website tracking plays very very prominent role for you to better understand where your traffic is coming from. So if none of your clients are asking for that, suggest them to have website tracking in place, so that they would know whether a prospect getting converted has already visited their website as a first touch point or not. So that would really play a prominent role. So I would always encourage any of my customers to have website tracking in place, so that they know what is the number of people, who are the number of people visiting the website. And then we have the flexibility to capture that data. So it's not a email data, that email ID information or what we are getting. It's just that what is the level of traffic that your website is generating, and also how many people are visiting your website per day, or probably what pages are they finding it interesting to see, right? So how much time did they spend on a specific page, right? So all this kind of information is being captured through website tracking code. So always encourage your customers to have that in place, Sometimes people doesn't even know that there is some this kind of feature that is present, and they might sound like, hey, surprised. So listening to such kind of features, so put forth them, have them options to choose with as well. If you are on advanced editions or probably premium editions, utilize Einstein features that are available, like Einstein send time optimization, Einstein scoring, and all, you know uh, to get better insights about a particular prospect, and what are his activities doing as well. So engagement history dashboards, they are available from growth edition. So make sure you set them up as well for the customer. So I hear from most of the customers that, hey, we don't know that these are all the features that are present. So I had one very recent call from one of the customers. They reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, Prashant, so we got an implementation done from a specific partner. I don't want to name them, uh, but we don't feel that we have got all the features. So I asked them, like, hey, what did you get? So it might be like people might be ignorant, or it's not, it might be that, like, client didn't ask for those features and the partner might have not implemented that. But yeah, so suggest them, show them what Pardot is capable of, and probably have an SOW sign features as well. Tell them, like, what Pardot capable of and get it done. That would be really helpful. Okay, for the because customers are under the impression that we are paying, but we are not getting what we are paying for is something that I am listening from few customers though, not everybody. So if they have in-house people, like, we people, they will be able to search, get things done and all. But depending on partners, ecosystem, or probably freelancers like us, then we definitely need to propose a lot of things for them. Can the website tracking data be tracked back to prospect, or we stop the convert to a paying customer? Yes, absolutely. So for this, there is a it's a tricky thing. First thing is, the tracking cookie has to be present, and the visitor who's going to be converted into a prospect, right? So they should not be clearing their browser cookies. If they are clearing the browser cookies, then the cookie or tracking activity is gone. So before they convert, before they should be converted and associated with the prospect inside. So all the has been done on the browser will be stored back to the prospect that is converted. Okay, so that's how all the previous activities also will be. And when you yeah, so it's a different thing. So when you forward emails to specific people, it's another thing that I would also like to discuss about that. So if you're trying to forward emails, so using forward email option, if you're not using that, then be very, very careful. If prospects are forwarding emails to other uh, uh, peers or colleagues over there, right? So prospect association might change. Okay, please do keep in mind that, if you see that prospect association or visitor association is being changed very frequently, please check out with that respect to prospect if he's forwarding emails or what, or probably if his system is being utilized by any other person and filling out the forms. It's very much required to separate activity between the two prospects, right? So always use forward to a friend option, and place it down below, where you might just add it next to the social networking things, and then suggest your client to utilize that, and educate your client to utilize that option for forwarding the emails. That way, it creates a new cookie for the destination or forwarded visitor, whoever it is. So engagement history provides, um, basically, the numbers. They do not give you deep information how or what B2B MA provides, but it's just a downgrade version of B2B MA, I would say. And you get the information of on about prospect activities, or on contact, if you're placing it, what forms have we filled and all that kind of stuff. But if you are placing that engagement history dashboard on a campaign, you get to see, like, probably how many visits happened on a form, how many visits happened on a campaign, right? hierarchy, campaign information, all that can be directly like visible on the engagement history. Yes, Rebecca, Kardashians is a very, very good Slack channel. I definitely endorse it myself. So probably, yeah, guys, just join it out. There should be some form or something to fill it out. Just Google it, you'll get it. You have the flexibility to. So, quickly moving out. I haven't introduced the speakers or anybody else. Interesting. Okay. So, my quick tips and tricks, my top 12, basically. So, first thing is, make sure to upgrade the connector from V1 to V2. I always suggest anybody to do this because previously all the older customers were on V1, and even now if people doesn't know that there is a V2 connector and that needs to be upgraded. If you have customers like that, encourage them to move to V2 because that way they save a license and they associate B2B marketing, B2B MA integration user as a connector user. So that can be utilized. So that's a very good way to utilize to release a license and you make sure they use it for some other purpose. So, and upgrade the connector from V1 to V2. That will be my very first suggestion. Okay, so always assign the connector user the necessary permissions on the fields and objects. You might always see, connector user does not have permission. The connector user does not have permission to write on a specific field. Also, if you're synchronizing the fields, custom fields from Sales Cloud to Pardot, and and you have a sync behavior of override Pardot value or override Salesforce value with Pardot value, make sure the connector has got read and edit permissions on the field and all the required permissions on the object as well. That is, very, very important. Also check, I know, I've been recently observing this a lot. Customers after implementation, raising support tickets as well on this about connector user not able to create a prospect, or else, connector user not able to create a contact or a lead inside Salesforce because of a matching duplicate rules present inside Salesforce. So duplicate rules, if you are not exempting the connector user, they 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 obstruct connector user to create or associate the newly created prospects with an existing contact as well. So that is a kind of an issue that I'm seeing. So make sure your duplicate rules and matching rules are exempted for a B2B MA integration user. Okay, so B2B MA integration, you just need to go to the duplicate rules and then just add a filter. Say probably, connect user current user dot username or probably first name equal to B2B MA. Then that should solve your issue of duplicate rules with the connector user. As I mentioned earlier, tracking domain setup is really, really mandatory. So it has been enforced already. So for few customers, it has not been enforced. So if you still has not been enforced, so make sure you have your tracker domain setup, custom tracker domain setup. And stop using go.pardot.com. Otherwise, it will lead to catastrophic failures of your Pardot forms and email content loading as well. Okay, switch all your content, switch all your forms, switch all your any kind of content that you're hosting on go.pardot.com to your tracker domain. So yes, so recently I saw this, that it's a very, very new thing that's happening on Pardot instances. On the connector, if you're going to connector settings, on the top you will be seeing Pardot connector user does not have B2B marketing analytics permission set, and it will not be able to read the data present inside B2B MA. So if you're seeing this flag on the connector settings, make sure that you assign B2B marketing analytics permission set. I'm not saying view analytics view only. I am strictly speaking of B2B marketing analytics permission set that needs to be assigned for Pardot connector user. It is very much required. Okay, so that needs to be there for B2B MA to sync the data across Sales Cloud and Pardot. So we do have a approach inside Pardot. It's a approach that most of the people doesn't know as well. I think like 40-50% of the Pardot people doesn't know this. So if you are having a customer asking them, hey, I have a form and I want my data to first send to some other, like, some other database, like probably Oracle database, and then push the data from Oracle to Pardot. Then if that is the case, right, always use Pardot form handlers, because Pardot form handlers gives you the flexibility to do this kind of requirement through API. So it's a customization. You will have to make sure while you're trying to before you send the data to um, your third party server, you first need to manually create a cookie and put it in the browser, and then push the information parallelly from your third party server to your Pardot as well. That way cookie is created in the uh, uh, prospects browser rather than for the server. Okay, don't do it after you send it to the server. Do it before you send it to the server, that the cookie can get created on the browser itself, not on the server. Okay, so yeah, so the other thing that I would like to mention is, Google Analytics fields inside Pardot only captures the first touch point of a particular prospect when the touch point is a Google Analytics campaign. If it is not a GA campaign, if the prospect has already been a first touch at a website or probably a form submission, then GA fields will not capture any value. Okay, it's a Salesforce standards and it's Pardot standards as well. This is something which cannot be overridden. I have seen customers trying to customize this, like using multiple GA fields and capturing the information, but it doesn't seem to work like that. So the product has got that limitation, and we are not able to customize on top of that by having three different fields again. So every time you have a field, you change the value, and then probably instead of that, you assign that. If you still want to capture every Google Analytics touch point that you're having, then probably do some API call and send it back to Pardot, and have him as a campaign member instead, right? That would probably fix up the things. Again, like, there might be multiple workarounds for that. So yeah, so this is one thing I will always stress any of the customer, is to make sure that the database is very very clean. Having unresponsive prospects or inactive prospects for a long period of time inside prospect database will lead to catastrophic failures of email deliverability, and it will be also marked, will be marked, your domain also will be marked as spam. Okay, so make sure that if you are having unresponsive or inactive prospects, shoot them an email and say, hey, do you still want to receive? If they do not reply or if they do not respond to that email, just mark them as do not email and clean out your database. So I this is a very big thing customers are still not being aware of. So educate the customers on this part. So just maintain, having 100,000 prospects will not help the conversions, or will not help them generate any revenue. Okay, it's just that they keep on purchasing the data blocks to increase their prospect database limit, or they shell out money without using Pardot to the extent. Okay, at the end they just frustrate and say, we are spending this much money, why are we not getting what we are asking for? So give them this suggestion. For specific domain, emails are bounced multiple times. So I have seen this in my experience as well, basically from Outlook customers. If this is being bounced multiple times, always reach out to the customer's email security team and ask them to whitelist, either whitelist or allow list your Pardot IP. So that way they will not get bounced. Okay, so that is one more suggestion. Also make sure the sending domains are verified. So this is the very first activity that any Pardot implementation partner will do. So if you are a customer attending this, make sure your domains are up to date and verified as well. Okay, so email sending domains play a very very prominent role for your email deliverability. So make sure they are verified, and also always have your sender score checked. Make sure it is above 90% to have good email deliverability. If your sender score is below 90%, make sure start making the necessary changes to your Pardot account and increase the score to 90%. And check your automations inside Pardot account, pause them, delete them, or deactivate unwanted automations in the system. so that it doesn't take the time of a prospect automation that's going to be run. Okay, so the last thing that I personally prefer for any customer to take, but most of them doesn't understand properly as well, about scoring and grading. So scoring and grading, very very amazing feature inside Pardot, but I don't see most of them utilize it. So utilize scoring and grading properly, and you will see wonders on the prospect records. You will be able to properly understand which prospects to target, which prospects not to target as well for specific things. So we do have a session as well on scoring and grading. So I gave a session in Kolkata with Kolkata group as well. So you can just search for with Kolkata Pardot scoring and grading, you'll get that. So just in case you would like to know a detailed explanation on Pardot grading, scoring and grading, so it's a wonderful feature, but don't say 60-70% of the customers doesn't utilize it very well. And even though they utilize scoring, they don't utilize grading at all. So grading is one of the best features that saw in Pardot. So always try to implement that, so that you can adjust the prospects, required prospects, and react to your campaigns very well. So yeah, so apart from that, I have just three more that I would like to speak of. So send time optimization, utilize that if you have that feature available in your advanced editions of Pardot. That would really help for better results. Because Einstein is trying to see how your emails are performing, how your prospects, when are they opening the emails, and also based on that, it can send the emails to that respective prospects. So emails and utilize send time optimization effectively. If you're having a specific feature in Pardot, just utilize it. Okay, that's my only thing. So you need to make sure that you get what you're paying for. So again, lightning email builder has some powerful tools. Ask your developer to build custom components as well, because it now supports custom components as well. So if you have specific requirements and that is not being fulfilled by the standard components provided by Pardot, always feel free to build your custom components and utilize that. Salesforce CMS is one of the best content management system. It is an advanced content management system as well. It is getting improvements. Previously, it was it was having limited space and storage availability, but now I think Pardot has expanded it. So it's now there is no space also, I guess. But yeah, so you have that flexibility to utilize CMS as well. Enhanced domains is coming into picture. So enhanced domains is for Salesforce instances. If you are using Lightning Email Builder or Pardot Lightning app, you should be seeing on the top on the banner, enhanced domains is being enforced. Enable now that kind of stuff. Enable enhanced domains is just for if your instance is moving from a pack server to probably AMR server or so. In that scenarios, enhanced domains basically will help you, uh, what do you say, without bringing your system down. Okay, so if I have to speak in a layman terms, it will help you to keep your system up and running consistently across all the servers of Salesforce. Okay, so enhanced domains, if you're still seeing on that banner, feel free to enable, but enable that in sandbox first, test it out with Pardot Lightning Builder, because that is the one thing that might affect, but I didn't see anything being affected, but I am worried about Pardot Lightning Email Builder and landing page builder. So just test it out in sandbox first, and if you feel everything is well, just move it to production. Okay, to enable it in production, but this is anyways gonna be enforced, so test it out before you do that. Apart from that, I think do not email field uh, synchronization is coming up. So you have the flexibility to choose whether it's a Salesforce value or a Pardot value that needs to be inside the do not email field. I would always suggest to have Pardot value. So it's up to the customer requirements though. But make sure that you change the synchronization before it is being enforced, because once it is enforced, you will not see that alert as well, and it will be defaulted to Pardot. Okay, so if you have different things, then probably just think about it and make the change as well. Cool. So yeah, so we are moving off. So marketing intelligence tool will work with Pardot, or it only for marketing cloud? Uh, See, marketing intelligence tool. If I have to speak of Datorama, right? So Datorama was an independent tool prior. Now it is under Marketing Cloud. It's just about you taking the data and pushing it to marketing intelligence tool or Datorama, and then generating reports. It will definitely work with Pardot as well. But I think Pardot already have B2B marketing analytics present inside. So probably if you have already Datorama present, you have the flexibility to push that data from Pardot to marketing intelligence or Datorama. Yeah, so we are almost time, guys. I'll just stop sharing. We have a quiz. The quiz is basically 6 questions. Window. I'll just So quiz is basically 6 questions, and only two first two people will get a certification voucher. The other person from the Twitter will get the certification voucher. So we only have three. So yeah, so only first two will get a certification voucher. I'm just trying to share my screen for you guys to have the quiz. Uh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen, guys. I hope everybody are able to see the screen. So there is a game code. Make sure you are entering the game code. It's kahoot.it. Okay. So I would always suggest open this in your mobile app or mobile phone, and then join with the game code. Do not share this externally. Only for internal people who have joined. Okay. So you can just join. I'll just wait for 2 more minutes, and then we'll start. So questions are based on like what we have discussed. So simple quiz. I didn't want to make it complicated. So very simple quiz. Try it out. Try your luck. I'm just saying 12, 15 participants. 10 more. 9 more. Guys, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn, Twitter if you have any questions or probably any suggestions or you would want to speak on our next event. Feel free to reach out. We are very much happy to have you as a speaker as well. So feel free to reach out on Twitter, LinkedIn. We are available on Twitter and LinkedIn. Those who don't know me, so interesting. I didn't put forth our introduction slides today. Forgot about that. So yeah, so I'm a 16 times Salesforce certified consultant. I'm a technical lead at Appistoki Consulting Services, based out of India. So I had a Trailblazer community group, VIjayawada Salesforce Marketers Group. I'm a MuleSoft certified. I'm a one-time Velocity certified and Trailblazer mentor as well. I'm a technical lead. I do cross-cloud implementations. So I just don't stick with just Pardot or Marketing Cloud or anything as such. So I play around on multiple clouds. So consumer goods cloud, some niche clouds like that as well. So yeah, so some interesting things I'm doing currently, learning Interaction Studio. So it's a very good thing to learn Interaction Studio. It has great future ahead. as long as cookies are in picture. I don't know what happens when cookies goes out of the picture, but yeah, it's an interesting thing, interesting topic to learn as well. I'm seeing it very interesting. So we recently had an MC Square event. I am still waiting for four more people to join. So they're just trying to kill the time. So we recently had a event called MC Square. We hosted the event. So we had Gilda over there. We had Trailblazer Community VP over there, developer relations team over there, and everybody. So we had wonderful sessions. So we will also be having the second version of MC Square sometime soon, probably down in the south. Last time we had in India, North India. So this time we are targeting for the South India. Uh, so yeah, just look out for that event details. Look out for speaker calls as well. So probably this time we'll be opening for speaker calls as well. So yeah, so if anybody would like to have speak on that and all, yeah. So we had a wonderful get together. Uh, yeah, thanks, Gaurav. Yeah, we did meet there. So nice time to chat. So I get to speak with a lot of architects, marketing cloud architects over there. Wonderful experience. Uh, Probably if there are things like that, I would always suggest you people to join. Not only MC Square, any kind of it. Okay, not going to waste any more time. So there are 26 attendees, and I am just seeing 23 attendees. So okay, 26. One was me, right? Okay. So guys, 22. I'm locking the screen, so no more entries. Thank you all for joining for the quiz. Let's start. Very first question. Pardot has been renamed as. Very basic question. Just make it correct, guys. Just make it correct. I spoke multiple times. I want all 22 correct. Marketing Cloud engagement is basically for Marketing Cloud Email Studio and Message Studio. So that has been renamed as Marketing Cloud Engagement. It's not Marketing Cloud. Marketing Cloud is a different thing. B2B Pardot is not the name. So Marketing Cloud Account Engagement is the thing that has been renamed to. Okay. So yeah, so no more Pardot. So it's McKay. Let's see who's on the top. Gaurav Singh on the top. Hari, Vikas. Okay. Only two people will receive certification voucher. So try hard. So okay, true or false? We do not need to assign B2B marketing analytics permission set for connector user. Read the question very carefully before you answer. We need to assign, guys. I just told we do not need to assign. It's a tricky thing. Read the question. Lost. Cool. Leela on the top, Obed next, followed by and Nandini third place. Cool. Next. Guys, read the question very carefully. Okay, so they are tricky. Pardot forms support both client side and server side. Pardot forms support. Do they really support or not? Okay. False. Come on. Pardot form handlers support, not Pardot forms. Pardot forms doesn't have a client side and a server side relationship. Okay. So it only have a client side response taking mechanism. So Pardot forms, when you just click on submit using Pardot forms, it sends back directly to Pardot. But Pardot form handler has got the flexibility to push the data through server-side submission using Pardot APIs. So I mentioned it two times during the session. So Remember, read the question very, very carefully. Lost. Bed and Leela still on the top. So you still have chance. I am just in 3 by 6. There are three more questions. One question will definitely have double the points. So be careful. MC account engagement is still accessible from Pardot Classic app inside Salesforce. We did speak about this, so be very careful. Why is only 20 people answering? Are the other two sleeping? Oh, come on. Pardot Classic app inside Salesforce is not accessible. MCAE is not accessible inside Pardot Classic app. It's only accessible to Pardot Lightning app and Pardot Classic website. pi.pardot.com is the classic website. It's not a classic app. So it's not present inside Salesforce. Okay. So lost. Okay. Lila and Ruchi, followed by Ruchi. Okay. Next question, guys. It's a quiz. How many soft bounces will make a prospect hard bounced? This is inside Pardot, not anywhere else. It's inside Pardot. Cool. Seven. Sorry, five. Seven people answered it right. So five soft bounces will convert the prospect into a hard bounced. So as long as it is less than five soft bounces, Pardot allows you to send the emails. Okay. So Pardot allows you to clear the soft bounces as well. The moment it becomes a hard bounced, then you either have to manually remove the hard bounce or probably reach out to Pardot support to do that. Okay. Okay, so we are on 5 by 6. The next question has got double the points. Answer it very, very carefully. You answer it right, anything might happen. Okay. Ruchi on the top, Obed next, Apur followed by. So everybody has got the chance. All five people has got the chance to be in top two. Probably even like 6, 7 persons as well. So just make sure you answer it correctly. Final question, guys. Double the points. What is the least wait time that can be configured for the action to execute inside engagement program? What is the least wait time that can be configured for the action to execute inside engagement program? So this will only be known to people who is working on Pardot. So in the engagement program, if you are trying to add wait time, so what is the least wait time you can add? Correct. Six people. I just want to see who those six people are. Interested. Let's see on the podium. Vikas on the third, Obed on the second, first. Ruchi, wow, wonderful. Gaurav fourth, Bernard fifth. It's great, guys. I hope quiz was entertaining. So Ruchi, Obed, just DM me your what do you say, email IDs and your full names. Okay. Any suggestions? You will be receiving a feedback, guys. So you will be receiving feedback email once the session gets closed. So make sure give us feedback. We are happy to have one. It's wonderful. I just want to see um, what how many people just gave the answer correct of this last one. Interesting, six people. Cool. Thank you all for joining today. Okay. Uh, Reach out to me for any other questions, or probably if you guys have any topics that you would like to speak, not only on Pardot, anything else. It's not that we restrict only our community members for Pardot. Reach out for any other sessions you would like to speak, probably health cloud, or you would like to give uh, probably on Lightning Web Component, a session on LWC, or a session on business analytics, or a session on UX UI designer certification if anybody have took, right? So you would like to do any cross cloud sessions as well, feel free to reach out to us. Uh, we are very much happy to host you all. Thank you all for joining, guys. Have a great day ahead. Bye.